What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Crew 2, and well, as y'all know, it is Wednesday, which means a new summit is now live, and for this week, I'm probably going to end up butchering the name of this summit, so let me know in the comments below if I'm actually saying this correctly. I believe that's Hashiriya, something like that. I'm probably wrong, honestly, because I really cannot pronounce these words. But then we're going to have in Platinum the Mazda RX-7 Turbo, which if you are wondering, you do get to test this vehicle out in the summit, if you're kind of mixed on wanting to do this one or not. I honestly do recommend checking this vehicle out because I was pretty impressed with it with these strips, especially you get to drive it in. This car is going to have a lot of potential. I think it does sound really cool as well. For being a stock vehicle, it was decently quick, obviously being a base leveled vehicle in the street class. It's not really going to be all that fast in general. But once you get a max set on there and obviously a good build, I think this car might have a good amount of potential there. Then in gold, we're going to have the legendary half set boosted for the drift class, which would be the second part. Before I was mentioning this thing has pure on it for some weird reason, which you will never really use your nitrous on the drift vehicles anyway. So I do recommend actually changing that perk on this. I really don't even know why that's on there. But luckily, if you guys do get this set, you can change it to the other perk for drifting because obviously the other perk on there, you kind of need that for actually getting points. And then in silver, we're going to have the Mazda RX-8 visual parts upgrade, which I believe is just giving you parts that are already in the game basically for free, but I could be wrong on that. Nonetheless, if you already have those unlocked, you'll probably just get the bucks back for it anyway. Then moving over to next week's summit will be the Dominion Series Phase 2, which I'm looking forward to doing this one. In Platinum, we have the Loot Digger boosted for the Hypercar class, which honestly you can never go wrong with these. Mainly because the hypercar races are insanely long anyway, so if you guys jump into those, obviously getting more parts out of them is going to be a really good idea. Then in gold, we have the rally tire, which I do think does look pretty cool. I personally do not run any of the tires in the game. Not that I don't like them, I just normally don't run them because I feel like it affects some of the cars in a very odd way. Then in silver, the Jeep Wrangler Evo 2, which I would say many players probably already have this vehicle, so if you do, you'll just get the money back for that. Then taking a look at this summit, looking forward to this, because we have more of the Forsberg races in this summit, which I really do enjoy these a lot. I think they're a lot of fun. Plus, this one's going to be a rallycross, which is awesome to see. Then we have Rally Raid, plus a motocross event, which we have not seen in a while. Then in Rallycross the C3, which is obviously a pretty dang good car. Then the street race would be the SRT Viper. It looks like we will have an off-road escape, which normally does mean you have to use a hypercar on those unless there's actually in the middle of a mountain somewhere, but normally people will still find a way to use the Regero. Then moving over, we will have the Summer Tide, which has a really cool looking smoke. I cannot wait to see how the aquatic splash will look. Some of the smokes in this game are honestly pretty awesome, and I'm looking forward to testing that one out as well. Then in gold, we have the BMW M4, which I would say basically everybody already has this vehicle anyway, so if you do, you'll just get the money back for that. Then in silver, we have the legendary half set boosted for the street class, which is kind of weird, but what I think is pretty funny is the fact that the score breaker set on the street class might actually work pretty well, because we do see these slaloms show up a lot in the summits, and I do think the street cars are plenty fast to do them. I already have a few friends that are actually using these street vehicles already with the score breaker set, and they're still getting almost the same amount of score you'd use while using like an off-road vehicle, which is kind of funny. So I will do some more testing on that when that actually comes out. And then moving over to the first week of August, we will have the Dominion Series Phase 3, which I would say this will be another really fun summit to do. In gold, we have the Fang Magnet Boosted, which shows the score breaker and all that in the street class. I have a feeling that might actually be bugged out there. I really don't even know why it says that. Then in Platinum, we have the Orange Smoky Nitro, which I think might look pretty awesome for being a Nitro. But we will have to wait and see till we actually unlock the Nitro, because I did notice some of the nitrous upgrades on here can be kind of annoying to look at when trying to race, and or they can even get in the way, which I don't think a lot of players are actually going to like that. And now moving over to the summit, guys, starting right off with the aerobatic skill. So I would say these are going to be pretty easy to do for the most part. For me, I ran the Zico Edge 540 V3, which I do highly recommend trying this plane out if you guys have not. Obviously, the Harman Rocket 3 is still a really good plane. That was actually my go-to plane before I discovered the Zivco. I just highly recommend trying this thing out because it's very stable and insanely easy to use. And luckily, the aerobatics missions really aren't too hard to do, but sometimes it can be kind of annoying, depending if your plane will be twitchy and or really annoying to fly for that matter. So I do recommend trying out the Zivco for these. Then moving over, we will have the Slalom. This one's actually going to be in the Miami airport. I decided to run the Ducati Panigale R because I just don't really see the point of using the Rally Raid vehicles on these, even though they will do just fine. If you guys are also wondering, my friend down there did use a hypercar with actually using a score breaker set, and he still got 154,000 points, so I will be doing more research on this. But a hypercar and or a street vehicle with a score breaker can also be used on these, which is funny. But I also think this is insanely good to know, because I know many players might be wondering if they can actually complete these slaloms using just one of the other classes, if they might have score breaker on like hypercars or the touring vehicles, even the Alpha GP vehicles, and luckily all of them will actually work. I think my friend was also getting 150 plus thousand points on the off-road ones using a hypercar, which is honestly just hilarious, but that's really good because if you do not have that crazy rally raid set, at least you can use one of the other classes and still get a really good score on these. Then moving over, we're going to have an escape, which I know these can be kind of annoying to do. I ended up running the Corvette Stingray on this one and got 13,100 yards, which I really don't see the point of getting more than that. My friends also used a hypercar, which seemed to work as well, getting 150,000 points. So either way, guys, a drag vehicle and or a hypercar will do just fine on this one. For this, you basically just go past a little objective, turn around and hit the second road on your left. Basically follow that all the way to the highway and just go from there. This one's honestly pretty simple. And then moving over to the first street race here is actually going to be one of my favorite new events in the game, the Flashback Japan. I really do love doing this race. It's a lot of fun. Ubisoft really did a really good job on this one, but nonetheless, I did run the Porsche 911 GT, which I'm not going to lie, guys, I will most likely not be using this car again in future summits. I really do love it, but I just don't really want to use the best overall vehicles in the game because the Porsche and the Superleggera are honestly just incredible. I'll probably go back to using the Infiniti Q60, but if you guys have not tried the Porsche 911, definitely give this thing a try. This car is amazing. I'm kind of mind blown by how good that thing is. Then moving over to the other street race will be with the Skyline GTR. This will be the downtown LA East. The biggest tip I can give on this race is to basically get around the turns as fast as you guys possibly can. That's where most of the time's going to be lost, I noticed, with doing this one. Do try my build out on the Skyline, by the way. I felt like it was pretty good. Luckily, the scoring on this event seems to be pretty dang forgiving by taking a quick glance at this. I mean, my friend got 120,000 points. I beat them by about 12 seconds there, and that was only 10,000 points. So you guys can see that you can get a pretty decent score on this and still get a lot of points overall, which is pretty great to see. And then moving over to the forced vehicle race, you actually get to drive the new RX-7, which I did find this car to be pretty dang decent for the most part when testing it out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I could probably do a little better on some of these events. I just don't really see the point of going in there trying to get like another 3,000 or 4,000 points if I'm in platinum, because I do want to show all the players out there that this is definitely possible to do, even if you do screw up on some of these events, because sometimes they can be pretty annoying to do. This could be one of the more annoying races to complete. Luckily, the RX-7 is actually pretty dang awesome, and I really do love driving this car so far. Looking forward to putting a legit set on there and a good build to really see what this car can actually do. Then moving down to the other no restriction street race, I did end up running the Porsche 911 once again. I honestly just wanted to try out the Porsche 911 again just to see why this car was so good, and honestly, from using it in a couple of races, I could see why so many players really like this thing. The 911 and the Superleggera, without a doubt, are going to be the best cars in the street class, but for me, I'm probably going to keep running the Infiniti for now. I just don't really like using the Porsche or the Superleggera, but those cars are absolutely incredible. I could definitely see why so many players absolutely love them. Then moving over to the drag race, for this one, obviously you have to use the 370Z Nismo, which I personally do not like this car that much. I personally don't really like using the Nissan 370Z all that much. I just don't think this car is really that great, and obviously the Corvette's going to be the best overall drag car, but we cannot use that. Luckily, the Nissan with a decent build on this car can still be used on some of these drag events. I do want to point it out though, guys, if you do not have Nitro Chemist, this is going to be a pretty annoying event to do because it's a pretty long track, and not having that will definitely hurt your score a little bit. Then moving over to the final race, we'll have the RX-8 mixed with a hypercar race, which I still hope to see that in the future someday, to be honest, because I really do think mixing the races is cool. The Mazda RX-8's honestly not an awful car, I guess. I personally don't really like this vehicle all that much, but with a decent build, the car's not all that bad. I really haven't seen anyone use this vehicle at all, which is probably for good reasoning, because if you have vehicles like the Porsche and or the Superleggera, what's the point of actually using the RX-8? Now, what's funny is I have to admit one thing, the RX-8 Gold Edition is way better than the regular Mazda, which is honestly kind of hilarious. You can definitely tell that some of these Summit vehicles are definitely worth going after. But anyway, if you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts on this Summit, by the way, guys. I do want to know what you think about it, but anyway, let's jump right into this.